Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tea Time with Tia for Geek Vibes Nation. As the title says, I'm Tia. I'm used to saying your host, Tia, because of the top 10 that I do every Sunday with my good friend and fellow contributor of Geek Vibes Nation, Brittany. But I don't think there's necessarily a host when it comes to these things. So sorry, but welcome back. Hello. I hope everyone's Thanksgiving was great, no matter what you did. I hope that you were safe. I hope that you were happy, even though this Thanksgiving, I'm sure, looked quite different than Thanksgivings in the past. I do hope that you had a great time. Before we go any further, I would like to say that this video is sponsored, has an affiliate link with the coldest water bottle. I'm sure you see pretty much every YouTuber have coldest water bottle in their videos, and I really like them as well. I especially love the red bottle. No, I did not coordinate the red shirt with the red bottle. I did not. But I'm an avid water drinker, and if you are, if you're trying to stay hydrated, if you're trying to stay healthy, drinking water is the best thing for you. And it's great to have a water bottle that keeps your water nice and cold. At least for me, I like my water ice cold. And if I put the ice cubes in the water, screw the cap on, and I can just leave the water bottle even overnight. If I go to unscrew it in the morning and take a drink, that water's still cold, the ice is still there. So it's pretty awesome. So there's an affiliate link down below. Please make sure that you stay hydrated. And yeah. So let's get on to the actual video. I haven't done an actual tea time in a while, but I just watched the first 3 episodes of HBO Max's The Flight Attendant, and it was so good that I absolutely decided that I had to come on and just talk about it. So let's go through it. I will say that this video will contain minor spoilers. I'll try not to put out too many spoilers just because it did just come out, so it's a little unfair, but just be forewarned. But The Flight Attendant releases first 3 episodes today on HBO Max, and it'll start doing new episodes per week, which is cool. Kind of. But it stars Kaley Cuoco. So as someone who was pretty much an avid watcher of The Big Bang Theory, now I kind of fell off in the last few years of The Big Bang Theory, but when that show first came out, I was living at home with my parents. I watched it almost every night that it came on, every week that a new episode was out. It was me, my mom, my dad, and we would sit around the TV and we would watch The Big Bang Theory. And Kaley Cuoco played one of the main characters, Penny, and I'm sure plenty of people got really used to her as just kind of this maybe airheaded, ditzy neighbor who really was maybe in the show more so as a eye candy than anything else. Obviously, her character transformed through the seasons, and they started being more respectful, I feel like, to her character, but in general, people were more used to her character being maybe a lighthearted actress. It's only in, say, recent years that it's changed a little for Kaley. So she's done The Big Bang Theory that ended recently, and she's been voicing the Harley Quinn series, but that's an anime show. It's DC. It's a little raunchy, and it's now on HBO Max. It was on DC Universe app. So if you don't have any of those things, if you're not interested in animated shows, you may not be familiar with that. So you may only know Kaley Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory. So when it came out that she was going to be involved in this show, The Flight Attendant, which was supposed to be, is a drama, is quite serious, I'm sure some people kind of raised their eyebrows at it, but I really was excited. I think that she was as well. She actually is an executive producer of this show, and I think that she was happy to kind of break away a little from the Big Bang stereotype and really flex her acting chops. And so what's the main premise of The Flight Attendant? You have Kaley Cuoco, who plays Cassie, this flight attendant who has a drinking problem. She is very flighty, it seems, and I'm sorry, that's God, that's no pun intended at all, I swear. But she is a little flaky, a little flighty. She's definitely an alcoholic. And so during the very first episode, it's her and her fellow flight attendants, who it seems like she has a pretty good bond with them, a pretty good connection with the people that she is normally working with. So they land in Bangkok, Thailand. She meets someone. He was a passenger on the flight that she was working on, and they have a very nice night. It obviously looks like they, were enthralled in passion and all of that for the night. She wakes up, Cassie, and she literally wakes up to this guy's dead body. So obviously she's freaking out, and the 3 episodes are really focusing on Cassie trying to piece together what happened that night, the FBI trying to piece together what happened that night, and you as the viewer kind of wondering if she actually did it, if someone else did it, if so, who actually committed this murder, because it's very unclear. So it's really interesting, and I wanted to say that the style that they film it is kind of intriguing as well, because there are times where it seems very real, like as if it's almost documentary style, which I know probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but there's some camera angles, there's some shots that there's a lot of ambient sound around. They're not putting maybe music in the background or anything, so I enjoyed that. It has this unique type of style when it shows montages, putting the film in tiles or splitting the screen, things like that. And it's even more interesting because I wasn't aware of this based on the trailers, but during all of this, there are periodic times where Cassie kind of is spacing out, and she's in fact communicating with the dead guy, trying to also piece together what happened that night. And it's never made certain. My idea is that is just supposed to be a symbolic sort of thing where she's just thinking about it. I don't think that the show is going in the direction of that is real or anything like that. I think that's all in her head. But it's a pretty cool way to piece together. And so Kaley Cuoco as Cassie, she you can tell that she's bringing some of her maybe comedic timing to the series. Not that anything is ever particularly funny, but you could just see in the way that she reacts to certain things. She's very skeptical as things are going on, but it's very real. It's a very real situation. It's this girl who you would probably maybe even constitute as a hot mess, and her having to deal with these things, and generally trying to be a decent person about this, because she's not only worried that she's going to go to jail for something that she didn't do, but also she genuinely liked this guy and thought he was a great person, so obviously mourns his death as well. So she does a really good job, but I want to say that there are some scenes where she brings a lot of emotion to whatever she's doing. I was very impressed by it. As someone, again, who watched The Big Bang Theory a lot, who has seen her work in that, and then who has also seen her work in the Harley Quinn show, it was really nice seeing some of these scenes where she was very emotional, she was breaking down a little, and I think it showed a really... I think it showed a lot of talent on Kaley's part. I really enjoyed that. And overall in the show, even though she is suffering from alcoholism clearly, and maybe if you were in her life, maybe you'd want to even give up on her a few times, as it seems that maybe her brother goes back and forth with doing. She's an overall very likable person. The people in her life continue to kind of not only put up with her flightiness and her alcoholism, but also generally just know that she's a good person underneath all of that, and that she just needs help. Obviously, because she's had some childhood trauma and some unresolved issues that gets touched upon every once in a while in the first 3 episodes. This is the first 3 episodes, so there's obviously more that we're going to find out. Part of me, as I was watching it, did kind of hope that maybe they kept things a little bit more secretive, because you do kind of see, and spoiler alert, this is where it goes, but you do kind of see very quickly, even in the first episode, that it's pretty obvious that Cassie didn't kill this guy, that it was someone else. You just don't know who else it was. But it would have kind of been cool if they would have kept you guessing for much longer. That was something that this show called The Stranger on Quibi, not The Stranger on Netflix, because I do know that there was a show called that, but there was a show called The Stranger on Quibi. I don't know if you can even still download Quibi, considering that it's like a failed app right now, and I don't know where those shows are going, but it was really good, and that did a really great job in keeping you guessing up until the very last episode whether or not the main girl is doing all of the things that are happening, or if they just conveniently seem to be happening to her. So the Flight Attendant doesn't do that, but that's perfectly fine. It still has this like really like large air of mystery around it. Maybe I can't put my finger on how Kaley is acting. I just think that she's really good in it. I think that, yes, there are scenes where she's a very animated person, and she's had to be from so many years on The Big Bang Theory. So her face is very animated, her actions are animated, but it's not where you feel like you're watching an actress who has, acted in front of a large studio audience for so long, now finally acting. Like, she's acting as if she is in a legitimate drama series, and that's great. She's not acting as if there has to be punchlines every 2 seconds. I love her acting in it. It's just really nice to see that she's maybe finally coming into things that are more serious, and so that she can continue being relevant in society, because as we see, when you have these really long-running shows, it always is somewhat of a hazard that once that show ends, that actor doesn't really do a whole lot. So I'm happy for Kaley, as well as Jim Parsons, because Jim Parsons is doing a lot after The Big Bang Theory as well, but very happy for Kaley. In addition to Kaley, Rosie Perez is also in The Flight Attendant. She's pretty good in it. Her character, and granted, she's been around for a really long time, so you can't really compare her character to anything else, but the most recent other project that I've seen Rosie Perez in has also been Birds of Prey. So her character is very different from Birds of Prey. She plays this, if my phone is going off, I so apologize about that. But she very much plays this person who clearly is in this relationship with this well-to-do person, and maybe she's getting a little bored with her life, or because she alludes at some point that she doesn't have friends. She's clearly very lonely and doesn't really have probably a circle outside of her husband. It seems that her husband works a lot, so she's probably not even spending time with him. So she's just a very lonely person trying to kind of grasp onto the people who she works with, because she's also another flight attendant. And it's kind of sad at some points, but also she's doing some sneaky things that are certainly going to have repercussions down the line. I feel almost bad for her, because I feel that her character is getting taken advantage of in many ways, but at the same point, she is doing pretty bad things. But I do like how she's playing this character. I didn't know what to think when I first saw her. I felt that she was just going to be, okay, here's the friend that we're throwing in the mix, but she has her own little backstory, which is cool. And then Cassie also has this friend Annie, who's pretty interesting. Their whole dynamic, very different. But I like her. I like her a lot. It's really cool. It's going in a direction I didn't expect it to. It's involving things that are very kind of like tinfoil hat, and I like that. It's a very interesting show. I really like it so far. I would definitely suggest going on and watching the first 3 episodes. I know that a lot of us here at Geek Vibes Nation really enjoyed it. In fact, this morning, my editor-in-chief actually messaged all of us in the group chat saying, if you haven't checked out The Flight Attendant, please do. And a number of us ran to watch it, and we all agree it is a great show so far. I can't wait to see what happens next. Normally I'd write this review probably, but I felt that it would probably be easier just to explain how much I'm enjoying it, and I'm really ready for more. It's an interesting way that they are maneuvering this story and keeping you on your toes as it keeps going, and really just kind of diving deeper and feeling bad that this guy is dead when it seems like he'd probably be a really great character and that he and Cassie would probably have more of a relationship. But Cassie is just like, she's a little broken, but she's so good, and you almost wish that, and I'm sure maybe there's plenty of people out there who do have a Cassie in their life, and I just think that she's made to be really likable, and you can tell why people in her life don't give up on her. She has several friends who also are flight attendants besides Rosie Perez's character, who just treat her really nicely even if they get frustrated with her. And I think that as horrific as a situation like this is, maybe this is finally the situation that teaches her that she needs to change, even though in the first 3 episodes she still is very much an alcoholic. If you have some, if that is something that, say, triggers you, I would definitely warn you that there is a lot of alcohol use. So if that's something that makes you uncomfortable, please keep that in mind moving forward. But I would definitely give the Flight Attendant 2 thumbs up. I would certainly suggest, if you have the HBO Max app, make sure you check it out. It's really good. I'm kind of mad that I have to wait a whole week now for the next episode to come out. We're still in the pandemic. Lockdowns are happening. I'd like to have something to watch, but it's fine. The first 3 episodes were good enough. Please make sure you check that out. And as well, make sure you check out all of our awesome things. If you're not subscribed to Geek Vibes Podcast on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of great content. It's not just me. It's so many of our other amazing associates, as well as our amazing affiliates, such as They Call This a Movie, Sean Ventura from Lights Camera Pro, Guiding the Sacred Cow. We just have so many amazing friends of the podcast who we also feature, as well as amazing interviews by our contributors, Martin, Dom, Ricky, Dylan, so many. Please make sure you check that out. We will be doing soon reviews on the latest Mandalorian episode. I personally, on our YouTube channel, have a interview up with the Russo brothers from a roundtable discussion for their movie Mosul that's hitting Netflix. I think it actually hit, it's hitting Netflix tomorrow, I believe, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, please, besides that, support us, geekvibesnation.com. We have all of our amazing reviews, opinion pieces, articles, all that great stuff. Yeah, it's been great speaking with you. I am going to go edit this now, and I will talk to you later. Bye.